I guess this means war. 1860 election, those will be our four candidates. The one we're going to be most interested in is the one on the far left, and that's Abraham Lincoln. Here's our set of candidates. Douglas will be the Northern Democratic candidate, focusing on popular sovereignty. Bell will be our Constitutional Union Party, and then the Southern Democrats will nominate Breckinridge. And our last candidate?
And I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. And I looked, and behold, was death. Saying, come and see. And I saw. And hell followed me.
Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Slayer. Yes, you can see the purple states win, but there's a great division. The Republicans will carry the North and the West. The Democratic Southerners will carry the South. So our first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, reading a real mean tweet.
Fun fact, Lincoln was the first Republican president, which, for Republicans, is the political equivalent of peaking in high school.
Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of the United States. Abraham Lincoln will be sworn in as the 16th President. By that time, 7 states in the Deep South had already seceded and formed the Confederate States of America. When we take a look at why they did so, secede to withdraw from the Union, they threatened to leave if Lincoln was elected because they said they were worried he would try to take away slavery. Pro-slavery controlled the Supreme Court. Remember that Dred Scott decision? To get rid of slavery, you would need an amendment to abolish it, and the Senate was still split. There really was no way that slavery was going to be taken away. South Carolina could not wait to get out of town. So here's our secession. The Deep South will secede immediately after Lincoln's elected, and the Upper South will wait. 7 states of the Deep South formed the Confederate States of America before Lincoln took office, and will choose Jefferson Davis. That is the first national flag of the Confederate States of America. That's what they call the Stars and Bars, and it looks nothing like what's on the roof of the Duke boys' car. Montgomery, Alabama will be the first capital. They will write a constitution that looks a lot like the Articles of Confederation. When Virginia leaves the Union as well, the capital will be moved to Richmond. So during this period of time, from when the South is leaving till Lincoln comes into office, our best president ever, James Buchanan, does nothing. James Crittenden will propose a compromise to keep the South in the Union. Lincoln says no.
Let there be no compromise on the question of extending slavery.
So if we look at John J. Crittenden's compromise, we're going to watch a scene from the movie Roots. And I want you to think about, as you watch this, is this something you can compromise with as a human being?
Anyone looks away takes a turn. Toby, I'm going to give you a chance to avoid this. Maybe Mr. Waller will let everyone enjoy this blessed day. I want you healthy, so you'll work hard. And all you have to do is tell me your name.
I'm Kunta Kinte. Son of a...
Your name is Toby. Now tell me your name.
I'm Kunta Kinte.
That's not your name. Toby's your name. Now, what is your name?
Say it. Kunta Kinte.
Toby's your name. Now, I'll ask you again. Tell me your name. Say it! Say it! Say it! Toby!
Kunta Kinte.
Toby! It's Toby! Now say it! Toby! Damn you! Black-liquor bastard. You will not move from here till you say your name. Not if night falls or a new day comes. Now you will say Toby. Say it. Say it! Say it! Say it!
From what I heard, my boy.
Please. I'm here.
No, Benta. I can't see our boy. I've looked for him everywhere. He isn't coming home.
Say it! Say it! Say it! Say it! Say your name. Your owner's wife chose for you. Say your name, so you know this ain't Africa. This is Virginia, and you're the property of John Waller, like the horses and hogs, nothing more. Say your name, so you know what you are.
Kunta Kinte.
Say it. Say it. Say it! Say it! Say your name! Say it! Say Toby! Tell me your name! Say it, damn you! Say Toby! Just say your name!
He said it. He said it.
Say it again. Louder. What's your name? What's your name?
He said it. That's what I said. Give me that grease inside here.
Go home now. Everyone, go on, go. Tomorrow's another work day.
This is what John Crittenden was asking people to compromise with. Lincoln enters Washington in secret. They were afraid someone might try to assassinate him. Foreshadowing, maybe? In the address, he says, I have to uphold the law. I won't interfere with slavery. He actually proposes a constitutional amendment which will guarantee the right of slavery forever. But he blames the South for the current problem. Lincoln refused the Confederate demands. They wanted him to pull the troops out of all of the forts throughout the South. In this case, we're looking at Fort Sumner. You can see it sits right smack in the middle of the harbor of Charleston, South Carolina. Fort Sumner refused to surrender. So at Fort Sumner, we're going to have General P.G.T. Beauregard for the Confederates and General Robert Anderson for the North, the Union. The ironic thing was, West Point is where you go to graduate college and become an officer in the Army. They both graduated from West Point. When Beauregard went through, Anderson was his teacher, his artillery teacher. Beauregard will use that skill to force the surrender of Fort Sumner. The cannons began firing April 12th, 61. 34 hours later, Anderson will surrender to his former student, and we are now at war.